The medical wing of Station Kepler 7 had strict protocols. After the incident in the cargo bay, all human personnel were to be isolated until the xenopsychology team completed their assessment. The Galactic Council needed to understand why humans, classified as apex predators, hadn't triggered the prey species' instinctive fear responses. Technician David Park sat in his quarantine room, bored out of his mind. 3 days of isolation, endless psychological evaluations, and nothing to do but stare at sterile white walls. He'd been told the Kixhari engineer he'd worked with was recovering well from the shock of learning humans were predators, but no contact was permitted until clearance was granted. On the 4th night, David woke to a strange scratching sound. The noise came from the wall adjacent to the medical bay. Rhythmic, persistent, metal grinding against metal. David sat up, concerned someone was trying to break in or out. The scratching continued for hours, growing louder. By morning, a small hole had appeared in the wall. By afternoon, it was large enough to see through. 2 enormous eyes peered back at him. The compound eyes of Trix, the Kixhari engineer he'd spent 3 months working alongside. The insectoid alien's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of distress in a species. Crix. David moved closer to the hole. Buddy, what are you doing? The Kixhari's translator crackled through the opening. They said you were dangerous. I should be afraid. That protocol demanded separation. More scratching. The hole widened. But you saved me when the coolant line burst. You pushed me away from the explosion. Predators don't do that. Crix, you're going to get in trouble. I don't care about protocols. The normally timid engineer's voice carried unusual force. You are hurt. I can sense it through the wall. Not physically, emotionally. Humans require social interaction. I researched your species. Isolation causes you pain. David felt his throat tighten. You researched us? Of course. You are my friend. Crix resumed, digging with renewed vigor. Friends do not abandon friends because of biology. By evening, the hole was large enough for Crix to squeeze his thorax through. He couldn't fit entirely, but he managed to get his upper body into David's room. Without hesitation, the Kixhari engineer settled himself on the floor beside David's bed, his antennae twitching with satisfaction. This is highly irregular, David said, though he was smiling. Yes, humans taught me that sometimes regulations are, how did you say, stupid? Crix produced a datapad from his tool harness. I brought the schematics we were working on, and also human entertainment called movies. I downloaded 300 films. The internet said friends watch movies together. Security found them 2 hours later, a predator and prey species, sharing a bag of Earth popcorn that Crix had somehow acquired, watching a romantic comedy through the translator. The xenopsychology team arrived, prepared for a crisis. Instead, they found Crix explaining the plot to David, his fearful trembling completely absent, gesturing enthusiastically with his forelimbs. You see, Crix was saying, the male human is clearly expressing affection through resource provision, but the female human requires verbal confirmation of emotional bonding. Human mating rituals are fascinatingly complicated. Dr. Velix, head of xenopsychology, stared at the scene. Protocol demanded immediate separation. Her training said this interaction was dangerous. Every regulation forbade what she was witnessing. She looked at the crude hole in the wall, evidence of a prey species literally clawing through solid metal to reach a predator. She looked at David's face, no longer carrying the hollow expression of isolation. She looked at Crix, completely at ease beside a being his instincts should fear. Dr. Velix made a decision that would change first contact protocols forever. I'll authorize the repair costs, she said quietly, closing the door behind her, and prepare the paperwork for joint quarters. Behind a closed door, she heard Trix's excited clicking. David, she approved it. We can continue our project and finish the entire movie collection. The galaxy would learn what Trix already knew. Humans might be predators, but they were also the kind of predators who couldn't sleep knowing their friend was alone.